City. It's so nice to have you. I'm glad you came. You need the, does somebody know how to get her the flow links then? Not yet. So this is the role though. You guys got to welcome her into your little group. And also we have Barbara that you guys probably don't know.
Hi.
She's joining our little group. Well, she's interviewing.
Come
over here. Far back. Come over here.
So familiar. Are you a nurse?
You move over here.
Nurse?
You gotta come up here. She wants to be your friend. She wants to be your friend. I do love, let them bring you into the group of it. I'm telling you. Oh, this meeting is being recorded. How do I fix that? I wish I could. So, do you guys have the flow code from the other day?
What's up?
Yes.
If you don't have it, you can
We're gonna
scan
put
the
it on your
QR
phone
code.
right now.
Playbook is it in that?
It's not part of, it's gonna come up in the productivity coaching one. It's one my friend Ritz made.
Oh, none of these then.
No, are you, and can you get
So
to
I just
WhatsApp on
found
your
that
phone?
and send it to me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so.
Go
Fine, right,
to,
yes.
you are. And we have Ignite and we have opportunities, but you need in, let's go into this one. This is the main announcements. Is there a place you can explore more groups, more chats? Try to type in productivity and see what happens. Oh, I think I saw it. Back up just a little bit. One more. Why did I see it? No, it didn't. It was being all weird and popped up. Can I add you then? This is like, and the reason this is like the number one thing that we're doing right now is because you guys will get so much more communication if you're a part of it. So check your neighbor and make sure they're part of opportunities. Well, let me give you, what's your,
I'm interviewing as well.
oh, are you not into the system yet?
No.
Oh,
So I
she's part
wouldn't
of
be in
it.
there.
She's, well,
I'm like, I wouldn't do that.
so sorry. I just want to make sure you're part of our group, but you need to be part of it because she is, you're part of, awesome. You did?
Uh-huh. Opportunities?
No, it's still one more. I added, I thought I did add you. Oh, it's because you're not part of our brokerage, huh? But I feel like you still should be able to get in there.
So I'm Cedar Valley.
Yeah. But I don't know why we can't get you in here. Let's see. How do I add people to this group? View all. I must have to be in like a, that's not my communities. We go productivity. I need our hunter group info, maybe. Yep, I see that. Add description, nope. I'm trying to add her to our productivity group, but she's part of the other one, so.
So if you just go back to the regular, like, the big KW page,
Uh-huh.
it'll show you groups that you can click and get invited to. So click the product one.
Yes,
Yes,
request
there
to
you go.
join. Perfect. And that's just going to be important. Oh, look, see, Ritz is the man behind the screen. He has the QR code. If you don't have it, just scan and it'll get you to where you're supposed to go. You know what? He's so patient with me. He's so patient with me. So bless him. Oh my gosh. And somehow the problem is as he does this, do you guys realize what happens is I don't actually learn, and I love it. He's a good partner, but this is actually a really good point. This is what I'm talking about. As far as this is your guys' journey, is what happens is we have all of these classes and we do all of these things and we make all of these playbooks and we set up things like WITSI and case studies and all this stuff to learn. And then it creates a culture that your job is to just show up and learn. And you're like, please teach me. Please just do it for me, Ritz, because you're amazing. And we don't build our own muscles and our own strength to be able to do it. And what happens when you're a 1099 I want to say employee, you're not an employee. What happens when you're a 1099 individual is that you're not an employee. This is your business. All of a sudden it has to change a little bit different. So the reason that that playbook is so fat is because it has a copy of your buyer broker agreement, your exclusive right to sell, and your rep sheet. And the first time you go to case study should not be the first time you looked at those. It should be your chance that you've already gone through it. And now you have somebody who's actually teaching you so you can be ready to learn. It's just showing up and doing a little bit more, reading through things, exploring what's online before getting there. Because if you only come and learn for 2 hours, you're just not going to get it.
I would have. And I didn't know.
Oh, this playbook?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I didn't know, like,
This is a perfect intro. I'm so excited. Hey, Ritz, do you remember that ladder that I had? Can you put it on the screen for me? And drop it in the productivity coaching WhatsApp group. This is a super powerful thing. Okay. I totally agree. You don't know. You didn't know. What do you know now? Well, we have it now. It's not that you have to have all those things. I think what happens is we think somebody's judging us because we haven't done it. It's okay. Okay.
like, I signed my contract and then they were like, here's a calendar, go do things. And then I'm like, what am like, okay, great, I came to a class, like, where do I find things? And so I'm like, I'm a checklist person, so having like, here's your list of like, something like
Girl, I got this job and they said, here's your microphone.
Yeah.
Like, so we started to build it.
no,
So we started to build it.
I'm good.
We got this. Maybe he will. If not, I'm going to drop it in our, I'm going to drop it. See what that affirmation did for us? Okay. Cassidy, Cassidy, right? How do you spell your name? Okay. Are you sure I don't know you? Okay. We are going to pop this guy in. No, maybe. You guys are so patient with me. Oh, he's doing it. But I'm still going to add it there too. He probably will do. I'm going to do it. You know why I'm doing this is so I can practice too. You guys. I always tease that after being with me, you realize you can run a big business and not be tech savvy. Right? That will be just fine. Maybe. And now I can't find my KW productivity group. Ritz, Darlin, Fisher family. Let's go to Ignite. General chat opportunities. We are in productivity coaching, right? Okay. And then we're going to add the picture that just got downloaded. Okay. And then you can save it if you want, because I feel like this is a super powerful one. Okay, so this is called our accountability ladder. Okay, I feel like what's so important to realize is that all power, all power comes from taking responsibility. The minute that we give our power away, you guys probably heard that term of who did you just give your power away to, is really important. It's okay that we don't know. It's okay that we don't have a system. It's okay nobody told us. Nobody's telling you did it right or wrong. Okay, but there has to be a point in time where we go, okay, this is what I know. I get to do it, do the best that I can and do it right now. Now we know we have a better chance. And what it looks like is at first we just don't even know. I had no idea they gave me, and are you okay that we use your situation? Perfect. I had no idea they gave me a calendar. I didn't know what I was supposed to do and I just showed up. It was totally whoever interviewed me's fault because they didn't get me started. And I can't make my calls because I don't have command yet and I'm not in. And Hunter wasn't here, so he didn't do it. And once he did do it, he dumped all of my contacts into command. So I can't call people because there's just too many people in there now. These are all things I've heard this week. And it's okay because we all know, right? But if we don't just shine the light on it, like, let's talk about what that is. And maybe, just maybe next month will be better. Angie's starting the coaching program. There's stuff coming together. I'll just wait. It'll be okay. I'll just wait. Oh man, I am a 1099 employee and I have to pay rent this month. I better figure out what that is. And every time I say employee, just ignore that. I'll get in trouble for using that term. You're a 1099 contract worker. Well, I've just spent $3,000. Maybe I got to make this thing work. Okay, maybe I can figure out, maybe I'm going to dig into the old YouTube videos and see if I can figure out how to do an open house. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to try and figure it out. I wonder where I can go if I show up and I start learning and there's somebody and I make friends with somebody else who's gone before me. Maybe they can help me and I can start putting my own systems in place and work it. I think what happens is we come from a place of being an employee. So we think we go through that same training program that I show up, I do. And this is on me too, because I'm realizing I'm like, oh, we need an orientation, which I believe we do. And then we should take them to be a busser, and then they can be a host, and then they can be a server. And then, right? But it's not the case. Jenna.
Hey, I'm going to challenge you because I love you because you do the same thing to me every day. So Angie, I'm paying 50% of my commissions. That might be $5,000 to $30,000 depending on my commission times 4. And so I am at the brokerage that has the best reputation for training. And so I expect to show up and be trained.
Awesome. What's cool is we actually have everything. So you are not paying 50% of your commission so that somebody does the transaction for you. You're paying it for the resources and the tools and the support, right? We never had a WITSE class and I paid a lot of money for my cap. Nobody taught me how to use DocuSign. I did paper contracts for my first 3 until I finally caught a TC in the Day Area who I was like, can you please teach me how to do an electronic signature? I cannot drive to Elkridge tonight. So I get it. I totally get it. Do you guys remember my shake story where it was like, you do all the studying and then you show up. So you got to do the stuff at home and then show up. So it's worth it. I'm not. It's a freaking mess, but I love to train. And the reason I was passionate about training at the restaurant is because I had really crappy training too. My GM, when I showed up the first day, he was like, I effing told him I didn't want a trainee. I'm like, okay. So I wanted it to be different for somebody else. And I got really passionate about it and I started to train. And I love to do menu orientation. Instead of not teaching people about it, I love to sit down and be like, great, you're going to taste all the sauces. I'm going to help you taste all this. You're going to eat this and you're going to learn it. And so hopefully it is. And this may sound like I'm harping on people, but I want you to realize this is power. Own your power. You guys, not everybody even makes it through real estate school. Do you realize that everybody who signs up for school, only 10% of those actually take the test? So you are already operating in the top 10%. So freaking own your power and like show up. You're smart people. You passed the test. And we chose KW. So
Today, where he took the time, he did the thing. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Now I can do what I tried to do as I already watched.
And if you didn't show up, you couldn't have done it.
Right. And I watched it on like how to do it. And I was trying to do it last night. And I'm like, why can't I pull up these reports in the area? And I sat there and I tried and I did it myself in advance to make sure that I had done the work myself before I got here.
So cool. And the reason I started out with is like, you guys I have to have way more grace for you than I've had, where I'm like, just freaking do it. Because I didn't realize how long it had been. I went through all of Ignite. I sent all of my letters. I called people though. I got all my contacts in, but I didn't even do my first open house for 45 days in. But then I saw my second open house. My first open house, I was going to show you guys the picture of it. It was late. I might have screenshotted it. It was a horrible, gross West Valley, horrible open house. My second open house was $1 million listing up in Salt Lake that an agent had let me do for him. And that was a way funner Facebook post looking one than the other. So, all right, let's go back to the playbook. So I just want you guys to look at that playbook. The playbook is an overview. That's all that's going to be it. I want you guys to come back to it. I wanted everything to be in one place and I know you guys don't need one more website, one more whatever, but everything you need, there's links hyperlinked in there and it'll walk you through it. Use that playbook. Are you on track for what we're doing? You can do that. And also the digital copy is in the WhatsApp group. Save it to your phone. Can
I just got it on my computer.
and so at the end of the day too,
But I still can't get.
can
to-
somebody take and write down who needs an email sent to them too? Because you also should have like can you actually put it in the WhatsApp group so my cool partner Ritz can do it? I'm learning and growing that I can't say yes because I'm over promising. And then at midnight, I'm sending you guys out emails about stuff. Awesome. So if you need it on your computer, just copy that link and email it to yourself and then open it on your computer.
Share it right now. I have the share link.
I love it. You guys help each other out. So through our playbook, let's just scroll through because we're going to keep scrolling page 2, 3, 4. He's so good. Welcome. Your support team. You guys understand that we are putting everybody in place. Mr. Hunter really is jumping in. Next Thursday, you guys, I think you guys are all going to new agent training. If you're not, come to his class. He's doing 36 touch and command. Did me and you talk about that? You'll want to be to that class. It's 1 to 3. I've asked him to teach that monthly now though. So we'll have a system and a routine that it will get repeated if you are at class. And if you're at UCAR, make sure you ask people if they're happy with their brokerage or not. We could use some more people. Okay. And same with Jeanette. You guys, I'm so grateful that we have something set up. Remember, Witsy is going to be on. We have this, it's in your playbook too. Witsy is on Tuesdays with Dean. And it stands for What If They Say Yes? That's contract training. And then we have, it's actually scrolled down too. I really like the other one. What's that? There's 2 calendars here. If you guys don't have these calendars on your computer or your phone, you can have Hunter after we get done help you add them. I say we get done. I have an 11 o'clock with him, or come to the next class. So in the playbook too, if you keep scrolling down, I actually should just tell you what page it is because I was studying before I got here.
Every single Sunday. What is this week?
On your
Every
account.
Sunday. No, on here on the WhatsApp and stuff.
So as we scroll, let's keep scrolling real quick. So if you need the calendar, who do you go talk to? Hunter, get it onto your devices. Yep, keep scrolling. I should be able to tell you what page it is. Your websites, we don't need that. This is what I wanted to look at. Yep. I think it's our times. Okay, Pro University's on your own. Ignite Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is in your book on this page. I don't know what number it is. Page 7. And I want to show you on page 7, you guys. Did you see he has these links in there? This is why Ritz is so freaking cool. Like, who does this stuff? See this calendar and this calendar. You can add them on your own. The links are right there. Easy. It's pretty freaking slick. Oh, but then he moves stuff around. Aha. So you click it and it jumps into the calendar for you and you can add it to your calendar. Witsy. So it talks about your Witsy every Tuesday. Case studies every Thursday. So make sure you've gone, but I want to make sure you guys understand this is the prerequisite for this. Don't show up for case studies unless you've shown up for this. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. And Perfect. Our fundamental understandings and stuff. Yep. Our productivity workshops. Let's scroll those down. This is the other things that should be on your calendar, and it's on that calendar as well. We have Monday is scripts. Tuesday and Wednesday is work zones. We have command basics Wednesday and Friday. We'll go through and keep reviewing things on 30, 60, 90. I want to keep pulling that out every week in a separate time. It'll be really quick from 9 to 9:30, and then we'll go into group coaching. And then case studies. And then productivity coaching on Thursdays. And so you start with 30, 60, 90. And so these look like little short things, but what I did, what my intention was, is that you guys knew from 9 to 12, you're here. And it should start out with either scripts or command. You guys wonder, I got timers going off nonstop. I'm supposed to share my high lows with my circle of friends today, because on Fridays we share high lows, because I wanted to be intentional about building relationships. So I have to have a system, because a year ago I sat in Shoni's office and I said, Shoni, I'm so stinking lonely. So you have to, instead, I was totally in victim mode. My life sucks. My team left me. I don't want to do it. And it's totally real. And I was like, okay, we got to get a system. How am I going to make friends? What am I going to do? What's that going to look like? Okay. But from 9 to 12, right? So they're short little things, but from 9 to 12, you should be here, either scripts or command basics. Then you're going to do Ignite training. After Ignite training, what are you guys going to do? Calls. You got prospecting time. Who are my 4 leaders this month for prospecting? Who's our other one? Oh, Chris. I was thinking Chris, Chris. Chris. It's K. And as soon as I'm like, that's why I have to ask you how it's spelled. It's the only way my mind works. And those 4 earned one-on-one coaching because they're taking the leadership role for that. The other thing is, as you start to lead those things, you will show up because you have to. It's like having a workout buddy. Same with having a script partner. So you got it. You guys, though, we're not going to run all those things. It's like, who is going to step up and decide they want to grow their business? Then we're going to be investing more and more in them. And then Playbook this Friday. So I'm doing, we'll kind of just do this. It's kind of like an orientation review of like what's in here, because you guys are going to forget, right? So we just want to come through and once a month before Ignite starts again, go, okay, is everybody set up? Because you guys all started at different times of the month, or maybe you're starting again. And that you're going to have to hear something 6 times to retain it at 75%. So we can also maybe offer grace that someone maybe did tell us, but we weren't ready to hear it. That's real. They keep telling me where stuff is, and I'm sure that I'm just not ready to hear it yet. So, okay, let's keep scrolling. I think that's the main things I wanted to make sure you guys knew that stuff was there, so you could go back here and be like, now what? Where do I go? It's right in the front of that playbook, and I want everybody to have that. He sets up your tech training. We're going to even just keep scrolling real fast to run through this whole book with them so they can see your 30, 60, 90. One thing I want to point out on 30, 60, 90, you guys, this is why the digital copy is so important, is he has links into everything. All you have to do is link in, watch the video. Okay. Hang on. There was one, host open houses. Ooh, this is an important part I want to make sure we cover. Right here from 30 to 60, 90 days, host open houses. It also has, I think it's up top actually. I think it's in your starter pack. No, sorry, up top, like what's it called? Like the first 30 days, your launch. There we go, right here. You have, I feel like this is where your open house stuff is. There's a whole open house section in here that you click and it takes you to the videos.
I don't see where you're talking.
30, 60, 90. What page is that? Is there a place to click in and learn about it?
It's page 11, and then host
This
for
is Meet
open
with Mother,
houses, check out and join private
Contact
office
Molly.
Facebook groups.
Those are all linked. Okay.
But it says host open houses, create social media,
Yeah, post
set
your
one
career
listing to
change.
buyers. Find block your
Yeah, that's
schedule
all
for
that's in the
training.
first, and then 30 days.
Go to the launch part really. Oh, that was the launch part?
Yeah, that's it.
No, the other way for a second.
High
Uh,
achiever commitments. Can't see anything else.
Okay, I lied. He's gonna have to get it for us, but he had it yesterday and I swear it came from there. He showed us. Hang on. He showed us. Let's go back to the playbook. He's gonna, all right, everybody watch. Okay, wait, where did we go? KW Hub that was in there. And then he went, oh wait, he's so fast. You're so fast. I did a Zoom with him. I was like, you're so fast as we were going through stuff. I had him change stuff. I couldn't even keep up to the thing. New agents. You guys know how to get to new agents? Value library, essentials. That's a lot of places to go. We need a link. Hey, we're going to need a link that actually goes to open house stuff. Because these guys all need it. Who's hosting an open house? There are 6 in our group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 6. Who's the 6th? Anna. Anna's not here, is she? She's going to be here at 11:30 to pick up signs. We have to come up with a system. I also just want to highlight. So Leo is doing an open house for me in case if there was any question. I know sometimes there's a little bit of like hubbub. I also want to say thank you. There's reasons. I didn't just pick you out of the hat. So I want to make sure I explain. So he was here at 5 o'clock on a Friday night and helped me with something. And I always say, man, it's amazing if you come here and do your work versus go home, opportunity presents itself. I needed help picking up open house signs from UCAR. And he was like, sure, I got it. I'll go take care of it. Thank you. That was a huge, like, it was like, you do things for me. I'm going to do things for you. That was awesome. And you made 70 calls or whatever it was. 247 calls. Right. So I was very intentional with who I did. Now, first right of refusal is always my team. Becky is doing Friday night. She got the pick of the 2. So she's going to do Friday night from 4:30 to 6:30. And then you can do Saturday during the day. So you don't have to do open houses on Saturdays, guys. Okay. But don't take some time, you guys, in here on your own. This isn't for class time. This is like, let me go explore. Oh my gosh, this stuff is so cool. When you have time. This is like when kids go to bed. This is like, the weekend when you're not able to do other things. It's getting up a few minutes early, being intentional and going, okay, if she says all the resources are here, then I need to be intentional. Where is it at on my schedule that I'm going to do that? I was in a coaching call yesterday because I'm getting coached all the time right now too. And realized that working harder is not a growth strategy. So for the last month, I have been getting up at 5 a.m. I'm staying up until midnight. I'm working my business at night. And I'm in this class and I realize that if I keep saying I need help learning how to deal with time and priorities and leverage, like just try harder is actually not a growth strategy. I had the realization that I actually got to go find 5 books and figure out what 5 books do I need to read that's going to help me with that. What podcast should I be listening to? And who are the people that I need to go ask information that have done this before that was able to figure it out? Instead of just be like, I'm just going to keep showing up and trying really hard. And I just thought about like, how much does that for you guys as well? Like if I have to grow, if I'm not where I need to be, where do I go? Like take 15 minutes of quiet time and think about that. Like if open houses are going to be one of my main generating leads or where my main generating sources, where on my calendar am I studying and learning about open houses and how? And I'm so sorry because I just told everybody they should just go do open houses. But it's good. Do you guys, one of my strengths, one of my top 5 strengths is activation. It means that I move. Right? And so that's what you get with me. You get activation. And that's going to be like getting into production as fast as possible and we'll fix it along the way. Just way better. You guys got bills to pay. Okay, let's keep rolling through here. Just know how cool it is. He's probably spent hours to make this great, but check every link and be like, that's kind of cool. That's cool. Next section. Okay, this is your 411 and GPS. This is like not saying you should do this right here. And I want you guys to understand that because it starts to feel overwhelming. This is an overview of how you can run your business once you get your basics down. That's why it's going to be later on. Okay. It's not like, oh, I got to sit down and do my 411 right this second. No, you got to learn how to search for houses and set up listing alerts. Like do that. And this month, after you've gone through and done your Ignite graduation, after you've been here, this is when we do this stuff. We've got business planning clinic coming, and I'm so excited because they're offering 2 or 3 sessions of it, but for different level productions. Because you don't necessarily want to be sitting in business planning clinic with Red Sign team that has 20 agents on their team, right? I'm so excited. And it is also giving me an opportunity to learn how to do that. I don't know what it looks like yet, so I have some studying. What's that? Tell me more what you mean. It's next Friday. It is actually really cool. It is $100. It's both. So I've gone every year since they started it. Well, they didn't used to offer it to everybody in the brokerage. It is very limited seating. Johnny does it for his Red Sign team. And then the ALC members get to go for free. Staff goes for free. I always pay to have my whole team go, whoever's on my team. So and it's usually $100 a time. So I would pay, at times I'd pay $500 to $700 to have them go. I'd really love my husband to go, but he's kind of being a bum and he doesn't want to go. Agent Leadership Committee. And so that's, I came off the education board. So there's a new person who's taking that spot. Courtney Nelson is actually going to be in that role, which will help because I will be able to step away from that and have more time for this. Oh, he was going to probably bring up the ALC members. I saw it pop. You don't need to though. We're going to workshop 411s and we're going to workshop the GPS as well. I'm hoping it comes this month, but it will be at least in December. And then when we start to get together, that'll come. You guys just aren't there. Like that's the thing is we could sit here and do it, but you got to do some of the basics. So no, this is on the agenda, but don't stress. It will help you get some basic organizational stuff though. Okay. And that's our 411. Oh, you asked about that. Sorry. 7 areas of life. If you open up the one thing, there's 7 areas of life. They're the 7 circles. Okay. You're going to have your spiritual growth, your spiritual health, mental, money, key relationships. Physical health is, I have them actually right here. I'm like, I can drop them in our thing. I keep them in my notes because I use it for my Sunday planning. So my Sunday planning looks like that. It's from the 7 areas. And so I try to be intentional and do one thing in each or put something in place. So spiritual health, personal, key relationships, job, business, and financial. So the thing is my job is to sell houses, but I run a business and have to be profitable. So in my business, I check my money and do my P&L, my profit loss statement. Jenna, you had talked about needing an LLC. That is part of business. Your job is to call people in to sell houses. And you may need to do some study inside your job. And then you may need to do some studying inside your business. And then financial is actually a little bit different. It's growing your wealth. So that might look like me and my husband sitting down and going, okay, what does our budget look like? And where's our net wealth? So we track that monthly. So we know kind of where we're sitting. Key relationship, same thing. So I'm like, where are my dates? What am I doing? Who was I on the phone with when I went to my parents earlier? Was it you? Yeah. So that was something on Sunday that I was like, I have to go see my parents this week. I take care of my father-in-law. I take care of these other people. I got to get to mom and dad. We booked a family trip. There were things I started to be, and I just looked through them and that's really the kind of things you're going to go over and you'll plan your whole year there. It's pretty overwhelming, but pretty cool. You got to decide if it's worth it in your business right now. We'll do some things like that, but it won't be quite as intense as that one. So that's a week from Friday and it is $100. It is. So Carl Spencer said he didn't want to go because he didn't want to spend the money. So he sent me that message and I called him and I just think, like it's very little to make you stop and actually think about living a super intentional life. And we get wrapped up in selling houses and we have to, like, you guys are in the season right now. You're just going to work your butt off. It just is. I'm in my season right now. Next 90 days, I'm working like crazy. And if you don't go or it's not in your budget, we'll cover that. So don't stress, because you guys still just like, you're in a place where it's like, do I learn how to, I can't go to everything. I just can't go to everything. And we'll put in a 411. What the 411 is action steps. So you have your big goal, maybe to sell 50 houses in the year. You have your big vision of your life and what that looks like, your personal and your business. And we'll break it down on a weekly basis. What's the one thing I can do such by doing it will put me on track for my weekly goal, my monthly goal, and my annual goal. And mine might be too personal to share in our WhatsApp group. Maybe not. I don't know exactly what's on there. I do, but it's one of those things. So I'm going to look and see, but mine might look like, see if I can pull it up. So I pull mine up and then I screenshot it. To be honest, I haven't done a 411 in 6 weeks. I've been upside down here, but I'd probably get right side up if I did it. Maybe I can share it. Maybe I won't be that uncomfortable with it. I can't see it. You guys can't see it.
Is there anywhere that we can find what all the acronyms mean? It'd be nice.
There actually, I want to say there is actually a book, or might be in one of the things in the back. It's like all that. I bet I can find it. Like, yeah, I bet I can find it. So 411. So I have, mine might even be a little different. My coach, I'm not motivated by selling houses or money. I'm just not. So every time she would ask me for that, I'm like, it's just, that's not what my big why is. That's at the top of my yes, I'll tell. Do you guys want to know? And then I read every morning. The mission of my life is to create safety, love, and acceptance. I'll honor my gifts of intuition, connection, and understanding while I share my knowledge with others, empowering them to step into their light and live their fullest. I'm light, I'm love, and I'm free. So everything I do, I'm like, is it in alignment? So, and I want to live a big life. I want to share with others. Like, that's why I'm doing this, is I'm like, I want to give you guys the power to go live your big life. We won't get into that. We'll do another 411 session. We are down to 11 minutes, you guys. Okay, we're going to keep scrolling because this is boot camp for this. Your app. Raise your hand if you already have your branded app downloaded. Okay, if you don't, come to the tech with actually, you could probably even do it if you just stop in, but if not, get Hunter. That's what this is like. You can find it, but we just want to make sure you get your branded one. You're going to get a general KW one, but you want to make sure that it's linked to you, because once it's linked to you, when you share it with somebody and they open it up, their information goes into your command. And then every time they're looking at houses, you can see what they're looking at. It's so cool. It's like the best app. We've already talked about it a ton. It's the app I use when I shop outside of Utah or outside of Utah County. So when we were looking for investment properties in St. George, our MLS doesn't work. It doesn't have as much as they have down there. We have like 30% of the inventory, but you get on the freaking KW app. It's awesome. It really is. Play with it, work with it. That's another thing you can do. Like while you're standing in line at the grocery store, get off of Facebook and Instagram and get onto these apps and get comfortable with them. So, and I want you guys to hear that in your head. Every time you open your Facebook, I want you to hear the words Angie saying, close Facebook, get off of Facebook and open up something that's going to help me grow my business. Okay, keep scrolling. The 411, the 10-4. These are the activities that are going to help you make money if you commit to them. So you guys all started last month. You know why I love the beginning of the month? It's like a whole new fresh thing. You guys get to start November 1 with what you know last month, and you know more today than you did then. So what if you challenge yourself, because no one's going to make you, what if you challenge yourself to graduate Ignite in November? You have more knowledge than you did last month, and you're going to do way better this month doing the exact same thing. So if you went, okay, November 1st starts, I'm going to do 10 contacts a day. I'm going to do 10 handwritten notes a day. I'm going to add 10 to my database. Now, I've gone back and forth on this idea of hunter dumping everyone in your database. I actually slept on it last night. We had a heated argument at 7 o'clock upstairs about them. So I actually agree with him. I agree with him. It creates structure, and it creates structure. You're better to have them in than not. And that was after I slept on it. And you know how connected I get to God when I sleep. So the thing is instead of entering 10, you need to clean and define 10 a day. You need to designate them as these are my people. Scarlett, you need to designate them as your heart or your A. I think hearts are higher than an A. Some people call them A pluses. Some people just call them A's. Your top 200 should be your A category. But there are those people who are your ride and die. I don't know what you got. Right? They're your people that you're going to be able to count on. If you're tired, you get a flat tire, you get stuck in the canyon. They're your people that are going to be shouting your name. They're your people. You treat them, or you don't treat them. Yeah. You give them more love. You just do, because they give you more love. And they're going to probably be your referral base. And people earn their way into that space for me. So mine's top 50, but mine started as heart. That's what I called them. They were my people. And they get to hear from me more often. They get extra things at Thanksgiving or at Christmas. They were the first group we hand delivered pies to. It was only about probably 40 or 50 we did pies our first year. We're up to like, I don't know, 300 pies now. Yeah. Well, so then I agree. I've gone back and forth on it because I was like, you got to stop, because they need to gain the muscle of putting the people in. And
because in your phone, they may just be first names. I had to go in and clean
and
up
then
everybody's
it makes you deal with them. I probably have 4,000 people in there, and there's dumb people. Like I save everyone, so I know who if it's a telemarketer or whatever. So I'm like, I don't know, so Lori is saved. Lori, lot 17. Well, that's Lori Erickson up in, I had no idea what her last name is, but she showed lot 17. I wanted to know that was the agent that was interested in it. So dumb. And that would have got stuck in my command, but it would have given me something to work through, and went, I better call Lori and figure out who she is. I better get her last name, and don't tag him as, so what you need to do is go through 10 a day and go, these are my ace. These are my people. Just go through and look. Are they somebody that you would designate here or here? Would you call them today? If you wouldn't call them, you can even just not tag them and leave them in there. He can hide those for you. So that's what these tech trainings are going to be. Yeah. That's what changed my mind. He told me how to do it. Hide people you don't want to see, not archive them.
Oh, yeah, just because I got to archive.
You can archive them if you want, but you can do your A group and your B group, but then you do a smart view and you only want to see your A group, unless you're done with your A group, and then you can call your B group. Unless you're like, man, I don't have enough business. Maybe let me see if I can move any of these people from B to A. And that might be weird because I just gave you guys those for leads too, but. And getting clear on what that is, realize that you want to build a highway, right? So think about that, and I say that, but think about it if it can be something that you're going to use a year from now. And sometimes it might be just a tag like, these are my hair people, or these are my village people, or these are, well, village and people.
Right.
Okay. So, but my challenge for you is in November. If you want November to be freaking awesome, or actually if you want 2024 to be awesome, you're going to have to be really purposeful, but you guys have enough knowledge now that you actually could make November really cool and do the true 10-4. So it's 10 contacts a day, fixing them in command or whatever, call it, well, connecting with 10 people, fixing 10 in your database, 10 handwritten notes, and which you could probably cheat like I did, which I just did my announcement letter and just basically signed my name at the end. And I was like, that counts. I am graduating. And preview 10 homes a week. So you do this every day, and then you do this once a week. So that's why it's the 10-4 things. And then they have added, if you want to hit social media in there too, you could. But this, if you do that, and if you guys want to do letters, we can. I got the office to agree to do discount bulk mail. You can come talk to me. You do have to do 200, but we can get colored announcement letters sent for a total of 50 cents, including the postage. Yeah. So, I mean, and honestly, it's a great time too. I would personally put in a family picture, a little about what's happening in your life, be able to like, hey, this is what's happening with the Fishers. Courtney's graduating high school, and this is what's happening. And we started our real estate business, and make it fun and friendly and colored. And then get that out to your database. And then it gives you something to reach back out and be like, hey, did you get my letter? I'm so excited. You maybe have already told them all. Call them again. Even if you called them once, send it out, call them again. Right? So I did work that deal. So it would cost $100 for 200 to go out, basically. And then we would help you get that done. So, okay. And more on the 10-4, more on your activities list. However, you come up with your like priorities of what helps you feel good. Which is super important. That was actually on my notes, you guys. I meditated to determine what we were going to talk about. Yes, friendly reminder to take care of yourself. And you guys are all grown-ups. That's going to have to be like, you got to just come with that. And if you're not, though. So this last month has been a lot for you guys. Raise your hand if you feel like you are taking care of yourself in the same way you did pre-starting this program. Super important. Is that helpful? You can't sell any houses if you're dead or asleep or sick. It's so hard. And you can call it the adversary or negative energy or whatever universe, whatever you want to call it. When you are on a mission to do something big, you will be forced with a lot of opposition, and you're going to feel like dirt. It does. So I'm going really strong during the week. I'm telling you these hours, but then on Friday night, I am sick as crap all weekend. Huge headaches and stuff. And I just have to just like power down and just sleep. So it is important. I took my dog for a walk this morning. I had my tea. I had my protein shake. But you guys, those are the things that's like, it's a friendly reminder, but it also like, I'll do my best to support that, but that's not necessarily, you guys got to ante into the game and take care of yourself. I actually wrote this down. Who's watched the movie Bad Moms? Okay. The first 5 minutes was my like first 6 months in real estate. Like literally left my kid at school. Like my car's a mess. I'm eating in the car. I'm doing all the stuff like that was. And it's just hard, but that really, I get you.
Conversation.
You just keep going. Okay. We talked about the playbook. We did our overview. We already talked about being intentional about what we learned. Trying harder is not a growth strategy. So if you can't get all 7 areas of your life, but if you step back and you went, okay, what's 2? What do I need the most of? And get deep into like, how do I grow in those areas? You might want to look at the book, The One Thing. That's probably a really good one right now for you guys to consider. And maybe even over MREA. Like MREA is good, the red book. However, you're getting a lot of stuff. So the One Thing is just, it is a really good reminder of like, bring it down. Open house process. So is this your first open house? Second, first. Okay. I'm going to stick around for that. You guys are welcome to stick around, but I wanted to walk you guys through this. I want to be respectful of your time. We're going to go into open house stuff just to make sure that you guys are comfortable with that. And thank you for coming. I would love you to be a part of our things. Did you know that Becky Boss is on my team? This is Barbara Boss. She is right here. She just had her 3-year anniversary with me. I know, it's so good.
It's unique last name, so I'm still.
Did we leave you with tons of questions? I feel like, what's your past life? How did you get here? Who brought you to KW? Who brought you here? Oh, I love Dan. He's fantastic. Awesome. So she's out at that brokerage out there. Yeah. And we're working through what it looks like to be able to integrate and have that brokerage be able, well, you get all of the training and stuff. If you do go out there, you'll still get all of the training. It's hard because it's always better to be in person than on Zoom. But, and to be able to work out what it would look like for you to be able to be part of the PC group too. So if you're new, gives you more support. These guys, what's cool is this month, these guys basically all started last month in general. I'm going to call it that. There's some stragglers in there, but what's cool is we're going to get another new pack, and you guys won't realize that you're so much further than them, and you will be able to help them. And all of a sudden I was at an open house and I had somebody, I'd only been in a month or 6 weeks. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, well, I've done 2. You want to come? And we're training somebody else and helping them, because it's like, you just help each other and you will learn more as you do that. So your flyers, my friend, Leo, he had flyers. He got his flyers done. It's important that you guys realize when you're doing somebody else's open house that you can make it look like your own, but just make sure at the bottom of the flyer, you still give proper acknowledgement of the listing agent. So just down at the bottom, and it doesn't have to be up at the top. It doesn't have to be huge. It's totally up to you guys, but it is so important that you acknowledge listing courtesy of, and then the listing agent's name. In a very nice world, you might stick their picture, but you don't have to. I do their pictures if I'm doing something from another brokerage. Because if you're holding open from another brokerage, you have to be 100% clear. It's not ours. I am here to help buyers out that might have questions about this home. So I co-listed some stuff with agents that were from another brokerage, and everything had to be like, I just stuck him way up on top to make sure there was no question, lots of pictures, his brokerage all over it, so that I didn't get into any sticky business. So, and it's also just the kind thing that you're going to do on your ads that you're putting on Facebook or Marketplace or KSL, same thing, put all of your stuff on there. And down at the bottom, just make sure you're putting listing courtesy of Keller Williams Westfield and Angie Fisher, and then put MLS number on there as well. Make sure the MLS is always dictated there. On your Facebook pages and your Instagram pages, you would be smart to add Keller Williams Westfield in your actual profile, because then there's no question. You don't have to make sure it's on every single post or anything. There's a one-click rule that Dean talks about. So mine just says, I don't know, Miss Fish Realtor 1979 or something. I don't know. But it's in the section right below that has like who you are. I just put Keller Williams Westfield in that. So make sure it'll save you later. They'll charge you $500 if you don't. And if somebody catches you, and there'll be a point in time that you've upset somebody and they're going to turn you in. So I don't know what I've done lately, but they just keep calling me on everything right now. So somebody, I know I'm under the radar for something, and I keep having documentation. So I haven't had to pay any fines yet, but that should work. I think, wait a second, let me look. Is that on the main page? Or do you,
It's on my personal profile.
so when I see you, okay, you should be okay there.
Mine says it too.
'Kay.
Says, works at Realtor KW Westfield, Keller Williams Real Estate. Mine
Perfect.
picked, like,
And it might be something that Mr. Hunter helps you do. I just want to make sure you
I
guys are
put it
staying
on
in
myself.
compliance.
Cause it has it like,
So-
where it says your information. I just put that
Oh,
on
shoot.
immediately.
And you might as well, right? Because then everybody's gonna be like, congratulations on your work anniversary.
I didn't get in trouble.
So open, right? Open house stuff as well. So, I'm gonna have you borrow my personal sign so we make sure that there is enough for everybody that is here. Plus, I have sandwich board signs. Mine are 4 feet tall. Yeah, I know. So when you work at 5 o'clock at night, you're here on Friday at 5. Opportunity comes. Do you guys realize I always walk through the entire office before I call somebody to help me? Anybody that's in the office gets first dibs on whatever it is. Even on like the teaching, like I'm like, okay, who is here? Maybe they're not a fit. Yes. But I check whoever's in the office before I go and look at any list. And then I look at who's like for you guys, who's coming to class, who's doing their stuff, who's showing up. So good work. It makes me happy. I was so grateful that night. I can't remember why I don't think I had my car even. Okay. So make sure system-wise, there's systems on here. I just want to make sure, you guys have your open houses already posted on KSL? Yes or no? You should. KSL is good because people who are on KSL are funny. They're like first sale by owner kind of people. So you will get different people from KSL than you're going to get from any other place. They're good. They're usually unrepresented. You do need to make sure at the bottom, listing courtesy of Keller Williams Westfield. Make sure you're a real estate agent. Like you don't want to be shady about that because you can get into trouble, but KSL is a really good one. Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, you don't be shady, but I will tell you, especially if you're working South County. Where's Chris? South County for sure. Those guys freaking love KSL. That's where my best leads come from. So your goal when you're putting it on there is to meet unrepresented buyers, right? Okay. So I feel like your group should be practicing open house scripts, but your goal is to do that. Whether you hold that open or not, you might have people reach out already and be like, hey, I like that house. That's a good one because it's super cheap. It's $300,000. We just barely fell out of contract. They're going to ask why. The buyer did their home inspection, everything else, had a problem with their job. And so we did not qualify with financing. So we're back out. It is a funny little house. It's a basement house. But we just did new siding on it. It's cute, huh? $300,000. It's single family home on a 1/4 acre lot in Spanish Fork. It's in the basement? You go down. It is literally a basement house. It's fine. But you'll probably still have 10 to 12 people there. All right. So make sure you're on KSL. When they reach out and ask if they can see it, there's going to be some scripts. I don't think I have this anywhere. This is Angie's scripts. So whether I'm messaging or I call them, sometimes I just start with messaging of like, they'll be like, I'm interested in this house. I'll just send back. That's great. Is this for you or a friend? Because I want to be, or marketplace as well. No, I just want to create conversation.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know. And it gives them an out. Is this for you or a friend? I do this on my rentals too. Because I want to know. They'll tell me stuff without knowing. And is this for you or a friend? And then they'll tell me, oh, it's for me. I'm like, okay, great. It just, on that one, I'll be like, so can you get to the open house? So I'll just ask, are you going to be able to make it to the open house? And if they say no, I'll be like, no problem. Are you just getting started looking for houses? So we'll get back and forth. A lot of times they're texting me. So, and we should probably store it and stuff. So, right. So then they're going back and forth on whatever that is. Cause you also might be on Marketplace. You can also put this on Marketplace with the same piece. Make sure it's designated that you've acknowledged the brokerage, you've acknowledged the listing agent. And you can change the words around. I also find like on Marketplace, if you can add emojis and other stuff, just make it a little less professional. You'll have more activity on it. If you just copy and paste what the thing is in the listing, it's a little different. But if you can make 2 cars, whatever, make your little emojis or whatever, it's way better. If it's too professional, they're not going to click on it because they think it's an ad. And it is.
On KSL.
I can't answer that. So once we find out have they just started, can they make it? We might for that one, if they can't, it depends on if I want to get face to face with them, but I'll also be like, great, did you see there's a 3D tour? I can send that to you. Or if I want to get face to face with them, I might instead just be like, great, I can show you at this time instead. And honestly, getting a better understanding of trying to get some sort of connection with them, you can go back and forth and just start to ask them more questions, right? Are you guys currently renting? The same kind of stuff. Are you guys currently renting, or do you already own? Are you guys thinking you'll pay cash, or do you need to finance? And they're just questions back and forth. So now they come to my open house. Now on your open house, you guys do not show up late. You should be to the house and lights should be on 15 minutes early. You cannot get there. If it starts at 12 o'clock, you cannot get there at 12 o'clock. And it's going to take you way longer to do signs than you think it's going to do.
Yeah.
So if you want to do balloons, Zurchers has them. You can call ahead and order them. Harmon's and Macy's.
Yep.
You don't need 100. You need 6 to 12. I'm on a budget, so I do 6. And if you call ahead and have them scheduled, you can just pick them up. So they're usually like $1.50 a balloon. You want red with red strings. Yep.
It was $12. 12 something for 6.
Where did you go? Macy's?
Macy's.
It's hard because you can't get it refilled. I have an empty helium tank in my garage.
There's a
Yeah.
shortage.
Yep. We did a lot of open houses. That was a major strategy for us. And it wasn't cheaper for us to do it that way, but it was a convenience issue because we were really holding a lot, and my husband's very operational. He's the systems and I'm not. Well, kind of, I guess I'm a system, but I might not have it in a checklist. I'm like, how do we make this easier? What do I do? How do I make it faster? So make sure that you have plenty of signs. So you might want to drive the neighborhood before you go. I'm so glad you're listening to this. You might want to drive the neighborhood before you go so you can see what it's going to look like and where you're going to put your signs. How are you going to bring people in? How close are you to a busy street? When you put your signs out, push them down in. Make sure they're not floppy because they will fall over. The cars going by. So make sure they're super sturdy, even though you're nervous and you're shaking. Yes. I don't know the laws for that. I'm going to let you as a 1099 contract person find that out. If you would like to, you can knock on the person's door. When I was new, I started and I'm old and tired now. I'll just call it that. But that was one of my strategies. I wanted to meet people and they always really appreciated that I asked, and it gave us a chance to have a conversation compared to even knocking on doors. It was positive, but you have to have enough time to do that. I've had my sign stolen. My stinking kid told me that one of the boys that she was dating had one of my signs. I was like, I need to get him out of there. Yeah, she's dumb. No, I actually have had a few stolen, and you wouldn't believe it. I was doing a senior community. They stole 2 of my signs. I finally went up to him. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I hadn't asked if we could use their placement for it. I brought him a pie and I was like, I'm so sorry. I keep having these signs disappear. I didn't have any more signs leave after that, but they just did not want them out front. So Lehigh, I think it's Lehigh or Eagle Mountain has some laws. I don't know. There are some that say you can't put signs out. They will confiscate them, and then you just call the city and you go pick them up for free. I can't remember which one, but there was somebody on the Facebook group that talked about it. You could maybe ask in the group and they'll tell you.
I was just super careful, and we put it on open areas like dirt, just open dirt areas.
Well, and sometimes too, if you're bringing them in from a big area, you might do 4 on one corner. It depends on how many you have. That's why we got to figure out who's getting signs. And Ritz and I are going to work on a Calendly where we can reserve the sign so we know, because I'm so excited that we have 5 that are going, or 6 or whatever that are going this weekend. I have more signs at my house if we need. But Shoni invested, we invested, there is 20 small and 12 big. And if you guys want to buy your own signs because you don't want to have to do it, the little ones we have are $3.50 at UCAR. So if you went, okay, I can spend $30 and I'm going to get 10 of my own signs. They are the little wire ones that you have to stick into the ground, but you got to start somewhere and you got to lead with revenue, right? You can't just go spend all the money on the fanciest signs. Right, Ella? And you probably got like 10 more signs than whatever those are, but I'm so proud of you. And I'm really glad you asked me. I really feel honored that you respect that. I'm going to tell you what I think. I bought branded open house signs. I never use them because they're not as good as the red ones from UCAR. Just use the red ones. Okay, so get your signs out, but you don't do two. You need to have, depending on where you're at, like where you're going to be at, you'll do 2 sandwich ones and then maybe a few little ones. 6, if you got the things, if you got balloons, it'll make a big difference. You could do 20 signs with no balloons, or you could do 6 signs with balloons, and you'll be way more effective with 6 with balloons. Once you get those out and you get all your lights on in your car, you should have something that is like my go-to pack. Okay. Inside this, you should have Lysol wipes. You should have Febreze. Deodorant is a smart one, but that melts. Mine used to have masks and sanitizer. I just took that out of my car. And my husband's like, why do you have this still? I'm like, It was my open house kit, right? It should have pens. It should have, things like that. I personally do clipboards. So this is something I want to do we're not going to do it until November. I didn't share this with you guys yet. We're going to do something for our PC group. So you got to be part of PC for this to happen. I do, instead of a sign-in sheet, and you guys don't have to do this, but I found that it was helpful for me. I do a survey for each person who walks in. It's just 2 to a page, and they have 10 things. And I just say, hey, would you guys do me a favor? We're asking for feedback for the seller while you're going through. Would you mind paying attention and then filling this out so I can get this for them? It has all their contact information on there. And as well, if they turn it back into you, it says if they turn it back into you, then they get entered into a drawing for a $50 Amazon gift card. If they don't fill it out, no big deal. Because do you guys remember what I said? Information equals motivation, but contacts. If you didn't give it to me and I manipulated you into the information, you're not my person anyways. You don't want to work with me. That's cool. However, most of the time they'll give it, and it does give them a spot to say if they are like, are they looking to buy 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6, whatever that looks like. Are they working with an agent and the agent's name? So we're not trying to like get on anyone's toes, but that gives us really good feedback. It just helps us understand kind of where it's at. And it also makes it a way more purposeful conversation. So if not, at least get a sign-in, but be on purpose with what you're doing with it. So it looks like you know what you're doing. You'll be professional and an expert. People who go to your open house are going to go to 3 more open houses. You just got to look this much better than the one at the last house.
One thing Julie mentioned that stood out to me was that she has an open house bucket that she brings with her.
You do like your buckets. But I do. You just have everything, and I keep those in my car anyway. So when I get there, if it stinks, I'm going to go through and make sure it's got Febreze on it. If they didn't get the kitchen counter wiped down, I can get it wiped down. And you are still representing that agent and that house. So just because you might show one of your clients while you're wearing sweats, you don't get to show up to another agent's house wearing sweats. You are representing them. You make sure you look good. You make sure you look professional. You smell nice. You got deodorant on, all the things. That's so important. Okay. And it's going to be your reputation, because if you screw it up with that agent, they will tell everybody. And it's ours. Like, we're having a lot of trust in what that looks like. Yeah.
And I showed up and the carpet was kind of gross. It hadn't been vacuumed. It needed to be swept. I needed to wipe off the counters, and I just hurried up. I found a broom to the house, and I brushed the carpet so it looked like it.
It's true. Like, and you do your best, because the first open house you show up to, a lot of times, I remember that one in West Valley, it smelled like cat pee. I was $40,000 overpriced. I was like, I had no idea. And I got there like, so the neighbors come by and they're like, oh, I can't believe it. I was like, you have to be really careful. Just be professional. Be like, and that's also why I like surveys, because I'm like, great, we just love to have your feedback. How does it compare to other homes you've seen in this price point? That's all that is, just super easy. Now that's if you're using the survey. This weekend, you guys are not going to use the survey. So the open house script, it's also in your stuff that you can get to. Ben Kinney's super easy. Hey, well, so should we role play? Hi, welcome to my open house. My name's Angie. How did you, what's your name?
Leo.
Leo, well, welcome. How did you find out about our open house?
I saw the sign down on the street.
Awesome, because I thought I was going to die putting them out there. So I'm so glad it was worth it. Well, since you don't know anything about the house, let me just give you a little bit of a rundown. Super cute house. It's just about 1,000 square feet, 2 bed, 1 bath. It does have a ton of storage, and upstairs, that whole attic you can stand up in, it's all storage as well. Things that includes, you want to know before you get there, get that agent full report we were talking about. Get the agent full report printed off so that you know what year was it built. Does it have AC? Does it have a sprinkler system? Study that before you get there, because you're going to be the one talking about it. Also ask the listing agent, how old is the roof, the AC, the furnace, and the water heater? All of a sudden, we're better than the last open house they went to, right? We just got to be a little bit better because they're talking to all these other agents. You got to know as much as you can about that house. Just so you know, they are going to include that's not like on this one, but they are going to include the washer and dryer and the refrigerator. And there is, they just did new siding on the outside. But the best part about the open house is that you get to look around without me bothering you. So go ahead and take a look. I'm here if you have any questions. Sound good?
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Let them go through 1.5 rooms. And then you catch up with them. Cool. So do you guys live around here? Or role playing? Awesome. Like here in Spanish Fork?
No, it's spring.
Oh, in Springville. Cool. So what brought you guys out to this neighborhood?
We're just in the area looking. Our favorite restaurant's Berries right down the street.
Oh my gosh, berries. What do you get there?
I get strawberry burger.
Oh, so good. I just took my pops there and we ate at the park across the street. It was so good. Berries is on the side. Yeah. They're BLTs. So good. So good. Well, they're awesome. And so are you guys renting where you're at, or do you guys own?
We own.
Oh, very cool. So are you guys out just looking for fun, or have you considered maybe making a move?
Considered rent.
That's awesome. You don't have one right now?
No.
Oh, cool. Very, very cool. And then I let him go. Walk through 1.5 more rooms. Well, that's awesome. So do you guys have any kids?
No, just 2 dogs and 3 cats.
Oh, you got fur babies like crazy then. That is so neat. Well, what do you guys think of this house? How does it compare to other things you guys have looked at?
Love it a lot. It's big.
It is huge. It does need grass. That one doesn't have grass. It is huge. And what do they say? Buy dirt, right? What do you think? Do you think this would make a good rental property?
A nice little area. It's close to the town.
That's awesome. Have you guys done any research or anything on buying an investment?
Have,
Oh, you know what's so cool is I actually do a lot with investment properties. I probably would be like, we hold classes every month to be able to teach people about real estate. We don't charge anything. Do you think you might want to come?
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Very cool. Have you heard of that podcast, The Bigger Pockets? Oh man, you got to download that. It'll totally, they give you so much information. That's awesome. And let him keep going. If he stays talking to me, I'll just keep talking to him. It just depends. But if it's warm, get their information. Be like, you know what? I don't know if you guys have a good professional real estate agent yet, or if you guys are just kind of wandering around looking at open houses, clicking around online. Let me do this. Let me get you my app. And then we should get together and I can run through options of other good properties that might be investments for you. Okay, when you script practice, you got to say no twice. Okay. So yeah, you gotta be like, no, I'm good. Okay. So whoever's helping you script practice, don't just say yes. Cause it does make it look easy and you're going to get in that spot and then be like, that's not what it sounded like. So that's the gift to be like, no, I'm good. I'm just looking. Like, that's okay. Just realize, just keep practicing. And you may or may not gather people today, or you may be on your game and be able to convert. Okay. Mostly it's if people are ready. Okay. You don't have to have all the answers, but knowing that that was you thought that might be an investment one. Also know what other homes are around that you can talk to them about. Okay. So you should be pulling up, there's some quick stats. Oh, shoot. Awesome. So what did other 2-bed, 1-bath sell for in the area?
Sold for like 330.
That is correct. This house comped at 330 and we're listed at 299, partly because I took 10% off because it's a basement house. It'll still appraise for 330, but market value is going to be different. We're going to have to find the right buyer that house makes sense for. And we might look at it and be like, oh, we might look at the lot. Do you know our last buyers loved that lot? There's not one stick of grass on it. And they were like, the husband's like, I like the lot. I don't even need to go inside. Let's get this house. So don't predetermine what somebody else is going to think of it. So you're going to be more question-based. What do you think about this? How do you like the kitchen? What do you think of the light in here? Down there, that's what you're going to do. It's light, even though it's a basement house. What do you think of this area? So ask more questions. What do you think of, what do you think of the flooring? What do you think? Don't go one or the other, like tell them what they should think. It's like if you're in a kitchen, what do you think of this kitchen? What do you think of this living room? What do you think of this backyard? Maybe ask questions like that on nicer areas of the house. Maybe not like, what do you think of the storage room? And then your goal really is to get information. Well, hey, I'd love, you know what? I'm not sure if you're working with somebody or not, but I'd love to be a good resource for you. And honestly, I'd actually like it. I'd like the chance to interview for the job of representing you. That be possible? No? Man, I totally get that. It's cool. Well, I'll tell you that in this market, you need an agent. And if it's not going to be me, just make sure you get a good one. Does that sound good? Awesome. Let them go to 2 more rooms. Be like, so where else you guys looking?
It's like stalker, go away.
Totally. But by the time you get done, they'll have walked in saying they have a real estate agent. And by the time they get done, they'll be like, not really, but my bishop was one. And I don't think we're going to work with him. Literally sold those people a house. They walk in being, I got an agent. Oh, that's cool. Let's just hang out and talk. I'm good. You don't got to work with me. But by the time we got done, they were like, well, actually, you're pretty cool. We don't really have an agent. So I'll keep after it. And I do like hey, why don't we get together? I'd love to have the chance to interview for the job of representing you. Or I'd love to get together and show you what I do different than other real estate agents. And maybe all you do different is you care more. You're honest. You're not slimy. Yes.
Is that program and if someone downloads your app?
I think just name and phone number. Mm-hmm.
What's that? Would it have like their?
So I think you'll have name and phone number, and then as they register, so they'll have to register to actually be able to see what they're looking at. But I think they're going to be able to, I think they can search without having to register. But the minute they try to save or do some of the cool functions, because it's got cool functions in that app, then they'll have to register with a name, phone number, email address. So we may have to have a contest as to who can get the most downloads on their app. That would be so fun. All right, you guys, I got to run. Thank you. Hopefully that gives you at least some direction. We got to talk about signs, and I have to be in coaching until probably 11:45. Me and you are good though. I'll connect with you on yours. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then